Hello and welcome to ThePrint. Welcome to ThePrint dashboard. Elon Musk's Tesla is finally showing in India lane. Come 2024, and Indians are likely to get their hands on these vehicles. But there is much more to the Tesla story than the mere import of completely built units starting next year. And to discuss all that, we are once again joined by the Print's automotive expert and writer, Kushan Mitra. Welcome, Kushan. Welcome to Dashboard. It's been some time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But Tesla is something that brings Kushan back into
Tesla, I mean, Elon he's one of those guys, right? I mean, Elon, no matter what he does, whether it's on X or SpaceX or Tesla, he's always in the news.
Right.
But as you know, and you've been reading in the press, in all the financial press in India, Piyush Goyal, Commerce Minister, who had gone to the APEC Leaders Summit in San Francisco, more famous for the Biden and Xi meeting,
Right.
but he also went to Fremont, which is outside San Francisco, and Tesla headquarters to talk to them about this deal. Now,
Right.
the stories that have come out in the Economic Times or Mint and other financial papers and channels in India show that the government is almost bending backwards to ensure that Tesla makes a big announcement. I mean, there's been much speculation how big will the FDI be. Some are saying it's as much as $2 billion,
right.
which is
Basically they have doubled it. As the minister himself says.
Yeah, 2 billion, that's 16,000 crores. That's a lot of money, and they want the announcement obviously before elections next year. There's much speculation where the plant will be built. I've heard rumors it could be in Jewar, Uttar Pradesh, because again, very vital state. But the industrial states, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu are the favorites.
Right. Kushan, we'll get on to where exactly or where do you think it will be Tesla's pick in India? I mean, obviously these four states
sure.
that you mentioned, they have their own industrial history for the last 3-4 decades. They have a repute of their own. But before that, I would like to know. I was going through these reports, and now a two-door model. It's being, some reports are saying a two-door model would come to India. Then I think there was a report which says that Model Y would be the first one that would go on sales in India as early as next year, and then in 2 years' time, Tesla would eventually set up its shop in this country. But I mean, to me, it almost looking at the Tesla story, it almost feels like we are going back to 3 decades. Looks like some sort of a license Raj at play. Not really license Raj, but the way, the pace at which things are moving, it almost reminds me of a foreign manufacturer trying to enter the Indian market, but having to go through a lot of checks and balances and processes.
I think foreign manufacturers, and the example the government is giving is Apple. Apple started manufacturing in India of the last year. Now Tata is also starting to do Apple iPhones now.
Right.
It was a long, almost 2-year-long process. When Tim Cook came to India earlier this year, much celebration, the first store in Delhi, first store in Mumbai, and you're starting that. Similarly with Tesla, now the reason you can say that the other established car makers in India, of course Maruti Suzuki, Hyundai, Tata Motors, which is a leader in EVs right now in India. But Tesla is a technology leader. And there's no doubt, as I said, Elon is the man he is because he gets so much publicity, and Tesla is the big name, and India is a massive market. But this Apple model is the model I think the government wants to follow. They want to bring in not just Tesla, but also the ecosystem around Tesla. There have been allegations, particularly by Raghuram Rajan when it came to mobile phones, that all we are doing is not adding any value add, this screwdriver giri, which is a pejorative term. But we're noticing with Apple, the value add is going up slowly. Similar things happened back in the 80s, back in the license Raj days, before Maruti or Honda came to India. We really didn't know how to make modern cars.
Right.
We didn't know how to do. But today, if you look at a regular Maruti Celerio or Swift, 95% of the car's value is in India.
Right.
Same with a two-wheeler motorcycle.
So is it, Kushan, can we say that is it some sort of an acceptance on part of the government, not just the government, the entire Indian auto EV ecosystem? Are we sort of pinning a lot on Tesla and the technology that will eventually bring to this country. What about our homegrown technologies? Like, for example, I was just reading up in China. Now it's the homegrown companies that are now actually calling the shots. They are sort of beating foreign companies black and blue. They are rising sales numbers. So that is obviously a story that maybe India can look at maybe in a decade's time or so. But what is the state of homegrown indigenous technologies vis-a-vis EVs?
Okay, so earlier this year, I had traveled at the invitation of Mahindra to South Africa, where they showcased the Thar E and their first-born electric, which is the BE05, which we saw the interiors of. It's in fact production ready. They showcased that last year in London, but now we saw a production-ready version. Tata is already talking of their new Avinya platform, which is going to use the same technology as Jaguar Land Rover, Tata-owned company. But there is no doubt that Tesla is a level ahead in terms of technology. EVs as part of sales are still a very, very minuscule part, even though it's growing in a city like Delhi, because we have that graded response plan for. So a lot of people are saying, I don't want a situation where my petrol or diesel car gets banned, but EVs will never get banned.
Right.
So people are picking up EVs over here. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 I've been driving is getting very popular. Hyundai, in fact, it's Hyundai Ioniq 5 is the biggest non-Tesla model, EV model in the US. So there is this about that. I mean,
I just wanted to understand what is beyond this brand that's sort of we are pinning so much hope on, and is it sort of what is it that other manufacturers are not bringing to the table, and do you think what makes Tesla different from these when it comes to entering a new market?
I don't know what makes Tesla different. I mean, Elon, as I said, it's a lot of his personality that drives it. He has the same personality type as I guess Apple, Steve Jobs, right? I mean, people can argue Steve Jobs is long gone, but iPhone's still dominant because of the image of Apple that he built. You can argue that Android phones are equally good, if not better, in many circumstances. I have one of the cars I'm driving is the BMW iX, and it is electric. It's fabulous. It's better than I've been in a Model Y. I've driven a Model 3. I can argue it's got the same simplistic, not simplistic, I'd say minimalist design philosophy that Tesla has. It's excellent to drive, possibly more luxurious than a Tesla, but a consumer will still probably buy a Tesla because of the brand image that Elon has managed to build. And some could argue some of the technology on board his cars.
Right. Kushan, what do you think are going to be, apart from these so-called hurdles or bureaucratic back and forth over the years? Now it looks like finally Tesla is making its way in India, but what after that? What are the kind of challenges that it will face once it is here in this country?
Firstly, Tesla doesn't have a sales and marketing organization, and they had set up one a few years ago. They wanted the same. Some of the concessions the government is giving now, they're getting, which is a lower customs duty on imports. As you know, India has a 100% plus, in certain cases, duty on all imported cars. They're going to give not all, some smaller cars are even 70%, but they're going to give a discount for EVs.
Right.
Of course, that will be applicable for everybody, whether it's Hyundai, Kia, Toyota, but they'll have to set up a sales and marketing organization. One thing that Bhavish Agarwal of Ola copied of Tesla, which is the not having a dealership model. It's working a bit for Ola, but with a car that costs it will cost 30, 35, 40 lakh rupees. How comfortable will you be buying it online? How comfortable will you be as a consumer in India buying it without a dealership, without having sales and support, calling up a guy for sales and support instead of calling? The US market has evolved. I'm sure India will also evolve. I don't know if India is ready for that right now.
Right. But Kushan, as an American multinational, it would have also, Tesla would have also looked at previous examples of its, of American automakers entering India. India is a very tough market.
Yeah, sure.
As you have mentioned before, it's a tough market to crack. Margins are low. Uh, I mean, it's correct that Tesla is entering a new realm. It's not the IC engines, or it's not into fossil fuel things. But how do you think it's going to sort of? I mean, because Ford last year, Ford folded up operations in India after its nearly 25 years stay in this country. Before that, it was General Motors that folded shop in this country. With that perspective, how do you think it's going to pan out for Tesla?
Firstly, when you give examples of Ford and GM, I will counter that with the example of Kia.
Right.
Kia has been here for 5 years, and they're a well-established brand now. I mean, you see Seltos, Sonnets, Karens on the road. They won the Indian Car of the Year last year with Karens. You can set up a brand in India if you have the right products. Elon Musk and Tesla has said they want to get to a certain volume globally. They want to have 20 million cars or whatever it is globally. India is the world's third largest market for vehicles. At 4 million this year, it will close at. So they need India. India wants the latest technology. The government of India wants the latest technology. So I'm sure Elon, he's a smart guy. He has very smart people at Tesla. A lot of the engineers at Tesla are, as obviously, desis. They will get the right product, whether it be the Model Y or the Model 3 initially, but they'll probably design a car for India. But it is a competitive market. I won't agree that margins aren't there. Margins have increased over the last few years. Okay. But can Tesla go to the volume game? Initially, of course, you'll get your imports even at discounted prices. But, that is a 30, 40 lakh car,
right?
Limited margins, limited volumes, maybe 10, 15,000 cars, 20,000 cars a year. But when you go to mass market, in fact, one interesting story that came out in the Times of India recently was that the festive season, we sold a record number of cars, over 1.1 million. But what was most interesting for me there was that the value per car had also gone up. So Indians are paying more for cars. They're paying more than 10 lakhs per car now.
Right.
So if Tesla can come up with a affordable EV, and as technologies evolve, particularly with cells and all of that, they may come up with something in 20 lakhs, then yeah, we are talking. I don't know where, of course.
But for now, mostly it has been, the story has been sometimes it looks like India is desperate for Tesla, but with their home market in a big churn.
Yes.
There are other big markets like China and a big churn facing competition from local manufacturers. I think it would not be wrong to say that Tesla would be equally desperate.
No, Tesla needs India. Let's not make any mistakes about Tesla needs India to grow, because in China, as you're rightly saying, the likes of BYD and SAIC, which owns MG in India, they are big. They are growing. They are becoming dominant in the EV space. Elon Musk did go meet Chairman Xi at San Francisco.
Right.
The only global leader he met was publicly, because China is very, very vital for Tesla. But he also realized, of course, to this day, Apple remains the number one mobile phone brand in China. Despite all the Chinese companies like Oppo, Vivo, OnePlus coming to India, Apple is number one, because they know the value of a brand. So similarly with Tesla, but Tesla needs China, but Tesla also needs India. So he wants to become the world's number one car maker. Right. He wants to take on the Volkswagen Group and Toyota.
Right.
But technologies are evolving. It is, of course, a company very dependent on that one personality. Apple moved on from Steve Jobs. That can Tesla survive not having Elon? Right. It is right now in a very rarefied. The Model 3 is an affordable car in the West. It's not an affordable car here.
Right.
I mean, it is going to go up against the likes of the Hyundai Ioniq 5.
Right. There are a lot of challenges for Tesla coming up in India as soon as it enters this market. As you know, Kushan also writes a weekly column for us. Kushan, what's next in Dashboard?
So I'm going to be doing a review of the BMW iX, which you can probably see soon. Then I'll be traveling to South Korea with Hyundai. We're driving the new Santa Fe which should be fun. And another topic that is, of course, dear to my heart is road safety in India. I'll be meeting up with some people and talking about the new report brought out by the Ministry of Road Transportation and Highways that pointed out that 1.68 lakh people lost their lives on Indian roads in 2022. That is a disaster, but I've driven a lot around the country, and bad habits are there everywhere. You see it all the time. But something we have to talk about and keep on hammering on about.
Well, Tesla also has self-driven cars. That's also something that's.
I don't know if that will work in India, though.
Yeah,
I don't know if that will work in India.
That's something that's there with this safety debate, and sometime maybe in future we'll get back to that topic. For now, that's all from the Print dashboard. Thank you, Kushan.
Thank you, Anurag.
Thank you.